Welcome to Happiest Places Home, the interior design channel. I'm Suzanne, an interior designer, and if you're into interior design, you'll love it here. In today's video, we are exploring the second part of the Hearth and Hand with Magnolia fall collection. There are such pretty pieces in this collection. It's one of my favorites by Hearth and Hand at Target. So, if you didn't watch part one, don't worry. You can interchange them and watch that one after this. There are so many beautiful items in each video. I hope that you find something that you like. And if you do, please use my tags, which are in the shopping bag picture on this video if you pause, or also in the description box. So I thank you in advance for doing that. If you do decide to do it, it will help me and the channel a great deal. Well, I hope you're happy to see me on a Wednesday, but you'll definitely have another video from me this Saturday. Well, why don't we just jump into it, because there are so many pretty items to see. I decided to include this one first because it just didn't quite make it into my last video. I ran out of time. So it is a favorite item of mine, aside from that scalloped serving dish. And we'll talk about favorites at the end, but this is a 10-inch wide cake dish. It looks slim and sounds slim, but most cake pans are 9 inches. Right now, so I think it would be perfectly fine to fit a completely normal dessert. It's a little curved there toward the top, so you can see why in their image they only put one layer, but there are a lot of things that you can put in this, and I actually would like to discuss that at the end because there's a sister item to this, and there's a whole setup that you can do that would be a great dessert presentation, so we'll talk about it then. This is one of the more elegant pieces of the collection, and I decided to share this now because I thought it does go well with the previous item. They're both a little bit upscale and a little more, let's say, decadent. I used that in a recent video, and I think people seem to like that word describing items rather than food. But anyway, this one is pretty inexpensive for the design impact that I think it would have, because it does look particularly special. Also something that looks like a classic. You could use this forever. It won't go in and out of fashion, but you can let it go in and out of storage as you decide to switch out and change your candle accessory. So I thought this was a nice piece to include. Such a great price, such a great gift. If you're registering for a wedding or something like that, it is a really nice piece to have in your collection. In part one, we had a really pretty red plaid throw blanket, and in last year's collection, they had a green throw blanket. This one is listed as new, so I don't think it was this one. What's cool about this is it does have a navy accent, and if you have navy in your palette, this would be a fun way to make it look a little fallish in the room because of that mustard and the olive mixed in. I just love this. It does seem like a piece that would be nice as a stadium blanket if you were going to a football game. Obviously, if it's not the color of your team, you don't want to get in trouble with any of the other fans. But it also looks like one of those pieces that would be so beautiful on an Adirondack chair or your outdoor furniture when you're cozying up in the fall with your fires and entertaining and things like that. Also as a table throw if you wish, but super ideal to throw over the edge of a sofa or tuck over the back of a sofa, and of course draped over a chair. Just very ideal. I love it so much, and a wonderful price. I decided to include this item at this point because I think it would look so pretty with that blanket that I just showed you draped over the arm, kind of tucked in that little opening, so it's all falling to one side. I think that would be pretty. But regardless of that, this chair is so ideal. So boucle is on trend, but the beautiful wood and the gold accents on this make it look like a classic piece at the same time. And I just think this would be a good thing to mix in if you maybe have too much color in your room and you want to kind of lighten things up. Not lightening things up for warmer weather is not what I mean at all, obviously, because it's boucle, but just brightening up that room so that it feels a little fresher. But regardless of the color of your room, this is a really pretty piece, a nice accent chair for that $249.99. Plus, I want to make the point that sometimes accent chairs, if you save a lot of money on those and you just feel like you need a piece somewhere, just an extra seat somewhere, sometimes the less you spend, you can see that it's not high quality. I feel like with this one, it's not that way at all. It looks very, very pricey. So you may have seen this really pretty mug in part one in an image, and I didn't have a chance to share it then. So this is a really pretty olive. It also comes in cream with the tan grid as well. $6.99, a good price for a mug. It's kind of low on the ounces. It wouldn't hold a lot, but really nice for a cup of tea. I mean, unless you drink small doses of coffee. So anyway, I think this one would look really pretty in a lot of different decor types, but that olive would look nice if you've chosen olive as your color to splash in as something new in your home. So a lot of people are going the direction of burgundy or olive in home accessories with this collection, so it's kind of like one or the other. And I think if olive is your choice, what a cute mug to have in the mix. This collection has a beautiful headboard. It comes in two different wood tones. There's the natural, which is your light wood, or the aged oak, which is a bit darker. The aged oak is kind of the newer trend at the moment. I know aged oak doesn't sound like a trend, but a lot of people were going for light woods that had a bit of yellow in them. Now, if you're looking for something that looks a little more classic, you would go for the darker shade. But obviously, you don't want to mix woods too much in your home. You can, but just not overdoing it. So I would go with whatever makes more sense. But this bed looks very modern and classic at the same time. And boy, that's hard to achieve. But Hearth and Hand did that here. And I think it's a beautiful piece, a decent price for something like this. And it could just be great. If you're looking for something to decorate your guest room, by the way, and you wanted to spice it up before company came for the holidays, what a great piece to add in there so that it looks fresher. I decided to include this lumbar pillow at this point because I just showed you the bed. Now, some of the most beautifully dressed beds have a really long lumbar pillow, and it's something that makes your bed look a little high end. I wouldn't say that this kind of modern farmhouse print would make it look high end, but it makes it look polished and complete. Imagine what this bed that you're looking at right now would look like without the long lumbar pillow, just not as good. The next item I think you'll love quite a bit as much if you want to come up with a little olive green combo. How precious is this vintage alarm clock? It's $14.99, comes in this beautiful sage, but also blush. So there are a lot of options here. I think the blush would look really good with that lighter honeywood bed. Not that you're buying a clock just to go with a bed. Now, a lot of us use our phones for an alarm clock, but sometimes in the middle of the night, you want to be able to look up and just see what time it is without fishing around. I do have a clock in my room for that reason. Placed precisely and all of that. But if you don't, it's so handy. The other thing is, if you have the Amazon Alexa in your bedroom or your living room, don't you feel like it's never displaying the time, but always giving you all the information that you don't want when you want to look up to see what time it is? But an alarm clock can be such a pretty vintage piece in a guest room or in your own bedroom. And I just love the look of this one. She does a really nice job with electronics. Now here's a blanket throw that was shown in the design of that bedroom with the new bed. I don't know if the alarm clock's in the photo, but first of all, the herringbone, a nice classic. It would look really nice in a lot of areas, not just as a bed throw. But I thought I would include this because it does look nice, coordinated with those other pieces that I already showed you. A few of you mentioned this ottoman and were curious about it because you saw it in the image of a blanket in my last video, and I wanted to make sure I presented it. I mean, more than a few asked about it. Now it's $99.99, a great price for an ottoman, a decent size, and as a matter of fact, it looks like one that I own. Now this could blend in with a lot of different colors of sofa, but I think it would look best with a cream one. Or adding two of these to the bottom of your bed, and you have one and your partner has the other to put your own things in and your own extra accessories. That would be a nice way to use it as well. But obviously what it's meant for is to go in the living room, and it would be just perfect there if the color is right. Here's a really pretty burgundy item, 18 by 18 throw pillow with the stuffing. It's $24.99. So I think that the use of burgundy as your new color of your accessories for the fall and the holidays is a really nice idea. But red can go in a room all year round, of course. And I think this is a really pretty piece. Very simple, nothing to really write home about in particular, but when it's added with the right things, it really just brings that exact sense of color, pattern, and texture that you might need to add in. If you already own a Dutch oven, you can just breeze by this point, but I thought this was the prettiest color. So it's a terracotta, which by the way is very in this year, but also fantastic for the fall, and a nice color to mix in with your creamy paint color and your creamy accessories that you have in the kitchen already, perhaps. Now, a lot of people would prefer to go for the premium brand of this, but I don't know if they have this color in particular, and the price of this is so great that you could have it as an extra if you don't already have if you already have a Dutch oven. So the 5-quart, $49.99, such a good price for such a large Dutch oven, and then the smaller one, a more petite price. So I thought these were so pretty, and I just felt I had to include them more for the color than any other reason. It's so beautiful. The appeal of these coupe glasses is the color. I think this tinted brown is really beautiful. The other appeal is the price. What an excellent price per glass. You can also buy them in a set of 4, but this looks so nice in the images. It looks beautiful and blends in with a lot of the more elegant items in this collection. These are great for champagne, but I think the ounces are a little larger than a lot of the coupes out there, and you can make a drink that maybe has ice cubes in it with this, and I think it's shown that way somewhere along the line. So there are a lot of things that you can do with it, and just the elegance of this product, the color and the price are calling to me, and I wonder if they are to you as well. Now here is the sister product to our other marble dessert stand. So the other one is on a pedestal. This one is flat. I think buying them both is such a great idea. And my thought was to do a little dessert combo where you've got the cake on the pedestal stand, and then you might have a beautiful variety of cheeses for that French sort of flair. And then in the pedestal dish, the fluted one, that is my favorite of this whole collection. It was in the first video. I would put grapes draped over the sides and piled up on the top, so you can have a whole French feel to your dessert. Or you could use this as an appetizer, using the stand for maybe some little puffed pastry items, and then the cheese on the flat one and the grapes on another, and then using something that goes with it, perhaps that other fluted dish, to put crackers on, and just have a little spread in the middle of your island would be really beautiful. If you don't have a cup or mug already from the Moscow Mule era, then this is a nice one to add to your collection. These are meant for chilled beverages like the Moscow Mule, dark and stormy, whatever else. But they also look so autumnal. And this one just has beautiful lines and curves. It's so pretty. So I thought I wanted to include this one as well. And it would be nice to serve a cold beverage from that pitcher that was in the first video and is shown in the photo here. In the last video, I showed you very small bowls in this same colorway, and here they are as ramekins with lids. Now, they're serving a side dish that looks like a small casserole of some sort, maybe mac and cheese. What I would use these for is to make my own salad dressing and sauces that you can use, whatever amount that you need. But using it the way that they did is a very creative idea as well. But you can get a lot of use out of them if you do make your own salad dressing, just saying. But I think it's a good price for the 3 and really pretty fall colors. Here is a very basic butter dish. It does have that modern farmhouse look. It would go with your accessories that you have that are similar. And $9.99 is a very decent price. It does have a little visual interest to it with those ridges. So if you don't have a butter dish and you need one for the holidays, this would be a really nice pick. And if you were buying that salt and pepper jar set, that would look really pretty with it, as shown on your table. I have a design rule that I think you should use white or cream colored candles in your decor. It just looks better to me, but candles with color are very in and have been like for the last 2 years. So I can't tell you don't get them, but if you were to want a color, this would be a wonderful choice. There's a taupe color, and then there's more of a honey color, and they kind of remind me of like an old-fashioned Williamsburg candle, like a real true beeswax candle. That's the look of it. And I think it's a good price, so I definitely wanted to show them. There are taper candle holders that are shown there, and those are sold out. They have been for a while, so I didn't include them in either video, but I do think they're pretty. So here we are with some more fluting, but with this decorative box, and there are other items that coordinate with this. It's a little more glamorous, a little more luxurious in nature because of the gold. So it's a great place to hide a few things away. And we've got the oval one is my favorite. And you could maybe put jewelry in there when you get home from work and just leave that in the living room somewhere or on a console. But of course you could have it in your bedroom on a dresser to hide away a few things like that. or to take off your jewelry, like I said, at your dresser. Now, the other pretty item is this decorative tray. So this is $19.99. Having the two of them together would be so pretty with one other item sitting next to it. I know it's showing 3 of those items, but I think you really only need the tray and the oval, or the rectangle and the oval tray. And then pair it with something else. You can't have, I don't think you should have 3 gold items all together, but I'm sure you already know that. Anyway, they are such nice accessories to play around with. And here's the rectangle version. So if you do have a lot of circular items in the vicinity of where you're putting this, like let's say if you're putting it on an oval or round coffee table, you might want the rectangle and the oval tray. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's nice to have all of these options. And it's just a pretty item to add in to the collection because it, like I said, it's a little bit more polished and upscale, and it does bring a sheen to the room where you do need that somewhere in your room, either done with glass or porcelain or something like this. We have another throw pillow. This one is lumbar in shape, but it's not that long, so it's perfect for an accent chair or for the edge of a sofa paired with maybe a circular one and a large square one. Anyway, the rust color, very in style, but also so perfect for autumn. And it would go with a lot of things in this collection, but also, let's say you're only getting one thing and you want it to be autumnal, this type of pillow would be a nice thing to throw into the mix just to make it feel like fall in your home. If you're in need of a side or drink table, this is so great because it's only $59.99, so you're not spending a lot, but you're getting some great quality materials, the marble and the brass. So it sometimes with especially sectional sofas, you just need a table to throw in for someone that can't reach the coffee table. And it's good for that, but of course it looks beautiful next to an accent chair. And this is one of those items that I think mixes well with the other items that have gold in them. At first glance, this mirror doesn't seem like it's all that fabulous, but the curves of it are very making it modern. But it's used in a room in this collection where it really does something for over that faux mantle. And I like it a lot. So I think it would go well with a lot of the things in this collection. If you need a mirror, vertical or horizontal, this could be just the ticket for you because the price is right. It's nice and modern, but it's not so many waves with that other look that you've seen that's in like the blob look, amoeba look. So this one is like a little more standard, but it has the curvature that gives it that modern update. I've got another blanket for you, and this time it's a little more expensive, almost $30, but the color is just beautiful. So it's kind of olive, but also has a bit of the evergreen hint in it. And it was another one that was used to dress a bed in this collection. So you could kind of go in the direction of the herringbone or something that looks a little bit more plaid or this. So it just depends on your mood and the look that you like best. But I wanted to make sure I included it because I did think it looked very pretty on that bed. I'm sure you've seen these quenchers, but there are 3 new, very beautiful colors in them for the fall at Target, specifically connected with Hearth and Home with the Magnolia. So I love all 3 of these colors. I wish I could have all 3. Now you may be making fun of me in your head because if you saw the Saturday Night Live skit about these, it really made fun of people who use them. They kept showing them bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you want to drink a lot of water and you want it to stay cold, a lot of people are using them for that. But they're great things to cart around with you and such great gifts. If someone already has one, it's really fun for them to get a different color. And if someone hasn't had the opportunity to try one yet, it's also really fun. I think some younger people use them to bring alcohol to things without it being obvious, but I do not condone that behavior. Anyway, I just think these are a great gift, and I wouldn't mind having one in each color if it were me, to use for a variety of things. I wanted to revisit this bowl because I do want to make it official. It's my favorite item from the Hearth and Hand with Magnolia fall collection. If you were getting one item, I just feel like this is the most ideal. $19.99 is a great price for it. It does remind me of a Martha Stewart bowl that I showed you in the last video, but that's not the selling point. It also reminds me of Butler's Pantry Lenox, which was from the year 1999 going into 2001. So and it would have been a lot more expensive, but you could use this for so many things, and it does go well with some of the other items that I already discussed. Another one of my very favorites in this collection is this piece of art. I said before, and I'll say it again, I think it is one of the nicest ones that Target has ever had. It's done very well. It looks like it was actually painted on that canvas. And I think if it were bigger, I'd be even happier with it. But it is a great thing to prop up against your backsplash if you want to hide parts of it, or just to add some interest or color if needed. I put in a few mood boards to see how some of these items might look nice together, or which ones just flow together for your home. So I'm glad you joined me on this episode. I hope you were happy to see a video so quickly as a turnaround for part 2 of the Hearth and Hand with Magnolia fall collection. And this Saturday, I have another video coming up. It has a bunch of very fun items in it, items that I'm very excited about as well. So I hope that you'll tune in. It'll be launched on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you for watching Happiest Places Home, the Interior Design Channel.